The other piece of congressional hearings today involves a little bit of a prediction that took place a few months ago by many of the people who do what I do. And that is, as soon as Marjorie Taylor Greene gets on a committee, it's going to be chaos. And she's going to not earnestly take the work seriously. She's going to be someone who's there to create clips for Newsmax and Fox News and OAN. And she started off with a bang. I will say this, though. It's very clear that she's obviously a dum-dum, but she's out of practice, having not served on committees for so long in her previous term. And well, let me just set the stage for you. She's questioning Gene Dodaro, who's the Comptroller General of these United States and the head of the U.S. Government Accountability Office. And Marjorie Taylor Greene's asking all these just whacked questions about whether or not COVID dollars, relief money, went to support or went to fund CRT and then other things. But let's start with the jackassery of the concept of this question. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene fighting the good fight.
Dodaro, can you tell me how much COVID cash went to CRT?
CRT?
Critical race theory in education. It's a racist curriculum used to teach children that somehow their white skin is not equal to black skin and other things in education.
Yeah. No, I do not know that, but I do know that there's provisions that the federal funds generally are not used, are supposed to be used for curriculum.
Oh,
that's a state.
Oh, Mr. Dodaro, I have to tell you, in Illinois, they received $5.1 billion at an elementary school there that used it for equity and diversity. So it's being used for these things. Mr. Dodaro, can you?
I mean, of all the summations that you could hear that try to define what CRT, critical race theory, is, that's one I haven't heard, that they teach that black skin is somehow, or white skin is not as good as black skin. And then the claim that an elementary school, a single elementary school in Illinois, received $5.1 billion in COVID relief to teach CRT. That's one hell of a COVID curriculum, if you're asking me. 5.1 billion would fund hundreds of schools, not just a single elementary school's curriculum in this specific thing that they're trying to fearmonger. Critical race theory, one, isn't being taught in elementary schools because it is a graduate level critical theory. It is for law students. It is not for elementary kids. And it's most certainly not that black skin is better than white skin, or white skin isn't as good as black skin, as black skin. This is so stupid. It's even difficult for me. I mean, I am a bit of a dum-dum myself, but this is so stupid that it's even difficult for me to even recite. So the questioning went on. She's very concerned about COVID dollars and where they went, where relief money was spent. She also is asking the same man, who's a very serious dude, has a very serious job, about the funding with COVID dollars of Drag Queen Story Hour.
Dodaro, can you tell me how much money was given to Drag Queen Story Hour?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Who?
Drag Queen Story Time, where men dress up as women and read confusing books to children.
Okay. First, I thought you said dry clean. So, I'm sorry. No, I don't know the answer to either one of those two.
We need to look into this, and I urge you to do that. Bradbury Sullivan LGBT Community Center in Pennsylvania received $16,000 for Drag Queen Story Time from COVID cash. I think this is an issue that needs to be looked into. A lot of this money went to things that it should have never gone to, and I thank you so much, and I yield back the remainder of my time.
If only she would permanently yield back the remainder of her time, I think America would be better off. Look, if an LGBTQ community center received COVID funds, it's not specifically earmarked for Drag Queen Story Hour. Which, by the way, no one is being harmed by that, where they read confusing books, she says. Look, bring it in, Marge. Bring it in. Just because you're confused by a book doesn't mean that book is inherently confusing. She continued, it's not just CRT, the dangers of CRT, and it's not just Drag Queen Story Hour. It's also talking about her own PPP loan. She wanted to get it on the record in case it got brought up by someone else. That's all I can assume. But she's denigrating someone for taking PPP money while admitting that she also took PPP money. Make it make sense. Watch this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to bring up something that was brought up by one of our Democrat colleagues on this panel about Republican members of Congress taking PPP loans. I never took one as a member of Congress, but as a business owner, I did take a PPP loan in order to be able to pay my employees. And I'm so thankful I was able to do that because they would have lost their jobs. And I think it's important to recognize. But the minority side of our committee here is having a witness on the next panel that had said that she didn't, or her, or any of her affiliates take any federal grants or contracts related to this hearing's subject matter. But in fact, as executive director of the National Employment Law Project, they took over $825,000 in PPP loans from the SBA. So that does need to be pointed out about the next panel witnesses. Here we are, a nation.
And in her mind, she just leveled a devastating blow. Remember this tweet from like August, where the White House put up all of the different Congress people who were maligning the forgiveness of student loans, who took hundreds of thousands and sometimes millions of dollars in PPP loans? Yeah, this is Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene had $183,504 in PPP loans forgiven. So it is the height of hypocrisy. It is the height of stupidity. And it is an aggrieved Republican who's looking to take out their frustrations and vengeance on Democrats, I guess, but through the American people, and also by not doing their job. They talk about fraud, waste, and abuse so much. It's a common refrain, but really the fraud, waste, and abuse here in this case, on this segment, is Marjorie Taylor Greene not doing her job, yet still getting paid to do it.
You know, I have a very acute newfound appreciation for how busy being a new parent makes you. If you have a little one at home like me, here's something really easy you can do to simplify your life. Our sponsor, Little Spoon, is your one-stop shop for healthy, easy mealtime and snack time for your baby, toddler, or big kid, delivered right to your door. Little Spoon delivers fresh, organic baby food, which comes in single ingredient varieties or multi-textured purees. Little Spoon is meals for toddlers and big kids. They're free of junk and taste great. Even the pickiest eaters love them. I've even tried many of them myself. They really are great. Having healthy snack time is so easy with Little Spoon's organic smoothies, which come in convenient pouches, in great flavors like strawberry banana shake, purple carrot acai. I love purple carrots, I'm gonna admit that. My girlfriend and I have had a great experience with our Little Spoon subscription. It just makes life easier. Anything to reduce the chaos is a great thing. Little Spoon is giving my audience 50% off your first order. Go to littlespoon.com and use code PACMAN50OFF, all one word. The info is down below.